You ever had a bad boss? Someone that's, he might be relatively competent in the duties that he needs to perform, but he doesn't have a clue about what you do on a daily basis and the ins and outs of it, but pretends that they do understand it and try to tell you how to do it. You see, in these times where we are dealing with massive things in our lives that are affecting us greatly because of poor leadership in whatever area, whether it be in church or society or politics or anything like that. It's tough to kind of wrap your mind around it on what you can actually do. And a lot of times, what I like to do, it helps me, is just to boil it down into a personal level and examples that I've had in my life and how I've dealt with them, smaller examples, my local personal examples, and then see how I can put that into this massive picture of things and implement that kind of idea of how to deal with these massive things. And it kind of eases some of my burden. And in my past, I've had a few bosses that just weren't the greatest. They, had great knowledge in certain areas of what they had to operate, in certain areas of the company that we were working in. But when it came to the areas that I was a specialist in, that I knew in and out, that I put 40 hours plus a week into and really learned how to make it run, they didn't know the nitty gritty. They may have spent in their career a week or two doing my job, and they use that to think that they know how it works 100% of the time, regardless of season or change or whatever's happening at this time. That reference, that small sample size they have, is what they use as a reference of what needs to happen at all times. And then they try to implement things to get you better performance, whatever, and you try to relay it to them, and you understand that they're not understanding what you're saying and can't comprehend it because they don't know, and they keep pushing their thing on you. And what I found a lot of times is sometimes I just got to swallow my pride and just accept, and sometimes, and maybe this isn't the right way to do it or not, but a lot of times in that, when I was running a business that my boss didn't understand what I was running in my portion of it, I would just be like, yeah, okay, we'll implement your idea, and never really do it. But I put out results that he liked and liked to see. And if he said, well, see, that's good, you're starting to do that, huh? I'm like, sure, whatever. Let him take the credit for it. Didn't care. I'm kind of a humble guy that way. I didn't need to have awards or anything lauded on me. And I just was able to do my job the way I needed to do it. I was able to control my environment the way I needed to control it. And that affected my output, my production, and it kept me employed and well employed with what I was doing because I knew what was best, even though they didn't. And I take that lesson. And I understand when I'm dealing with a government that's doing all these issues and everything going on that I can't personally have any effect on what's being pushed out. But I can do my part. And I can take whatever they say and take it in or not, and implement it or not implement it, and just let them believe that, yeah, great, yeah, perfect, we'll go ahead and do that. So when they say to me, we're going to be deporting a lot of people, sure, but I'm not going to be proactive in that deportation. I may be a burr in the saddle for their deportation, where I'm not going to put anyone out. I'm not going to help them find anyone. I'm not going to lead them on a path to help anyone out. And I may actually dissuade them and discourage them and push them on different ways so to protect these individuals. And when they come down and they're saying, hey, that was great in your area, we had a great deportation, you did great, I could be like, sure, whatever you want to believe, knowing that I protected individuals. Same with the LGBTQ community. If I'm able to protect them and keep the person thinking, all right, you're working, doing it, whatever, but I'm actually doing my thing, I can live with that. And that's what I kind of look at this thing. I don't have to worry about the mandates getting pushed out or the rules being pushed out. I can't deal with that. I have no effect on it. But what I can do is in my own personal life, have my own personal effect and let them believe whatever they want to believe, what the results are showing to them or whatever. Because in this administration, they're going to make up their results anyways and believe whatever they want to believe in a positive, no matter how it comes out. So let them believe it. Let them live in their happy little Neverland and think things are working, but keep fighting against the things that you need to fight against and be positive and helping people around you. And I think just for me, that helps me out a lot, knowing that that's what I can do on my local personal thing. And it takes a lot of the burden, the stress, and the anxiety of trying to deal with this on a massive scale of a countrywide thing when I can focus on what I can do personally. So hopefully that helps a little bit, and do what you can. Do your part and what you actually have control over, and wrestle that control back and do what you are called to do.